you everyone. Really appreciate all attendees. And before starting, I wanna say thanks to organizers. I know Raz, Yash, and I believe there must be a few more people. Really thank you. These community events have their worth, and really thanks for joining everyone. Let me begin and share my screen first. Yes, I have shared my slides. Can you please confirm if you can see my slides?
Yes, yes, I can see your slides.
Okay, thank you so much. Uh, Today I'm presenting RPA with desktop flows. This is basically a sort of introduction level session for anyone who is new to RPA or desktop flow. My name is Yavar Iqbal. I have joined from Melbourne, Australia. I'm really excited. I'm presenting this topic with you and sharing my learning about agenda today. This This basically presentation or session will be, we can divide into four major segments. We will discuss what is RPA or what is its important, why we should be using RPA. What are next will be like what are a few solutions or services available from Microsoft to provide RPA based solutions. I will have a couple of demos and I will also share a few links or a few details like if we want to learn more how we can get started. But before that, I think it will be a good idea if I introduce myself. I am a solution architect and consultant. I'm living in Melbourne, Australia with my family. I have more than 12 years industry experience of software development. I have been working in Microsoft technologies, Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, Power Platform, and last bit is I'm involved in community services as a speaker, blogger, and organizer. You can see my connection details, my connect details if you like, and if we are not connected, please send me a connection request. I will love to be connecting with you. This is a community event, and I will encourage everyone to get involved. Please feel free and use these hashtags if you like, and please post on social media of your choice about today's event. And another way we can, I will, I will request to get involved with through questions. And in my opinion, better will be if we keep questions in end this way. I will have sufficient time to wrap whatever I want to present. But please feel free if something is not making a sense, feel free to interrupt me and ask me there and then. Let's begin the topic, which is what is RPA. RPA is basically a type of automation, and RPA's program or executable is often called a bot. So basically, it is just a type of automation. What is difference in RPA and automation? The only thing which we need to understand is with RPA, basically it works with UI, user interface. On the other hand, generally our automation works with APIs or application or a systems events. So that is the major difference. With RPA, basically we are working with UI. For example, if we create a bot that will be and that is basically reading data, it will just directly go to other applications user interface and read data. Similarly, if it is entering data, same way it will go to UI and do the things there. So that is big major difference that we need to keep in mind. I said its executable is also called bot. But does it means it is something relevant to artificial intelligence? The short answer is no, it is not something relevant to artificial intelligence, though we can use artificial intelligence capabilities with RPA. So, in its true nature, RPA is not a part of artificial intelligence, but we have concept and we can use AI capabilities in our bots as well. After this basic introduction, let's try to define what RPA is. Excuse me. Basically, RPA bot. What RPA bot does is, let me bring. hmm, what RPA bot does is basically it has capability of recording some screen steps, screen actions, and repeat those actions. And the basic idea is those actions need to be well defined. We will start recording, we will do some activities, click or enter some data or do some other actions, and our bot, which is basically RPA program or executable, will basically record all activities, and it has capability to automatically repeat those things. It can be done with limited user supervision or without supervision. I think that this side, which is generally it is said about RPA, RPA should be used when APIs are not available. And I think if I say one slide, that will be takeaway from my presentation. This slide will be that slide. So we usually say uh, RPA should be used when APIs are not available. But I think this saying APIs are not available is really a sort of umbrella answer. We need to elaborate it. And it means APIs are not available for any reason. And let me please turn off my camera. I have a little limited space. Um, So RPA can be used basically to solve any business problem, and condition will be if where we say APIs are not available for any reason. It might be due to feasibility, for example, for a system it may not possible to develop API. That system might be keep changing, or business might be using different apps or websites, and in that particular scenario we might not it might not be a feasible or good idea to develop APIs. A few times technically it is not possible to develop APIs. Just imagine a legacy application. We still have legacy systems, and this is one of the time when we try to evaluate RPA as a solution of the problem. Similarly, sometime we are using an application or a service, but we don't own that or don't have control to develop its API. That will be another scenario when we will consider RPA as a way of providing solutions. And of course, cost is another reason. A few times it might be too much costly to develop APIs. And last reason which I wanna add here is sometimes we may not have skill sufficient to develop a API. So if you please consider all these scenarios, we will not just say APIs are not available. We, as a solution provider, we will need to keep these scenarios in mind where sometime APIs are not possible to develop, sometime not feasible. So for all these reasons, if APIs are not available, we can consider to use RPA. RPA benefits, of course, leading is economical benefit, and by leveraging RPA capabilities, user can keep working with their existing infrastructure, and we know that that save a lot of cost to business. And on the same note, generally it is low cost to do repetitive tasks with RPA compared to having a full-time employee doing same stuff. And availability 24 by 7 is another benefit. Since with RPA boards, we need we need process to be well defined. So one benefit of RPA is basically improve overall organization's processes as well. And with RPA, since there are less errors, so RPA leads us to better services through less error and overall other benefits. This slide basically give a little idea about current market, how what is market of a RPA. As per a survey from Gartner, by the end of 2020, expected market volume of RPA products overall was 1.5 uh, billion US dollars. And in this current year 2021, it is expected it will be something around 1.9 billion. So we can imagine this is really a good size segment of market. We currently have more than 50 tools that can be used to provide RPA solutions. When I'm saying 50 plus tools, there is a big variety. Some of them are open source, some of them are free, some of them are vendor specific. Similarly, some of them are a niche specific. But since we are working with Microsoft technologies, and I personally try to advocate Microsoft products, I will here quickly represent what are benefits of using Microsoft RPA solution, which is desktop flows. First of all, it is easy and rapid to do RPA using UI flows and desktop flows. And since desktop flows is part of Power Automate, and if you have used Power Automate, we know Power Automate has a lot of potential. It can connect to many different, almost any type of application, almost all type of applications, systems. It is really a great, technology. Since desktop flow is part of Power Automate, it has all that strong points on its back. So on one hand, if we are using the desktop flow, we have ability to connect to, we have ability to use cloud flows and all capabilities of cloud flows. So this way, it potential is really huge, and there are a lot of possibilities. And last bit is attended and unattended. With RPA bots, usually there are two type of bots. Attended bots are which where a user needs to be attending or doing something a few times or monitoring. But with unattended, difference is bot can log in securely on behalf of a user, complete the work and log out. So that is another good thing. My desktop flow offer both flavors. So this way we can leverage its capabilities. Next, what Microsoft offer currently Power Automate. I think if you were following last year, Microsoft acquired Softmotive, and they have I think it's their product was Win Automate, which was a sort of desktop application for creating RPA bots. Based on that, Microsoft has developed and provided Power Automate Desktop, and that is currently being used. But this is not the first attempt or first solution from Microsoft. Earlier version of version or earlier flavor of RPA boards, RPA capabilities were offered by under the name of UI flows, and it is still available as version 1. But Microsoft's recommendation is if we are using, so just to summarize, now under Microsoft's offering, we have three sort of flavors. We have Win Automate, we have desktop flows, and we have UI flows. But overall, Microsoft's recommendation is to use des desktop flow for developing RPA solutions. And that is my today's topic, and that will be further I will be using. How to okay, slide is still not changed. Okay, about setup. If we are RPA boards can work from basically RPA boards have capability. They can work with desktop applications, but also web-based applications. And by web-based applications, I mean there can be websites or sorry, can I please hold for a minute? I need to adjust my volume. Okay, sorry, apologies. I was explaining how to set up how to set up desktop flow, and for that we will need to install test desktop flow application. This application basically have capability to create bots which will be interacting with both type of application, desktop applications and also browser based applications. And if we are just working with, I mean, for working with web based application, we need a further component to be installed in our browser. So just to recap, if for web based application, for desktop application, we just need to install this desktop version of application. But for web, of course, we need this desktop flow, but also we will need that browser extension. And these are available for all modern popular browsers. And I know in first session there were a couple of questions about on-premises data gateway as well. This is basically Microsoft's another piece of software, and it basically helps exposing local infrastructure or applications to cloud. If we are just running over RPA boards locally, we don't need to install and configure it. But if we are working like where we will be using, uh, we will be integrating our desktop flow with cloud flow, we will need to configure on-premises data gateway. So if we are just doing something locally on our desktop, we don't need to configure it. But if we will be triggering flows from cloud, or our flow will be integrating or using some of the cloud flows actions, we will need to configure it. And this its configuration is really easy, and documentation provided by Microsoft is really good. I have put the link since if I start discussing how to configure how to configure gateway, it will be a little it will take a lot of time. So I just have added this link. If you have not done that, this documentation is really comprehensive. Please note this link and go through it. And if you face any issue, I'm really happy to assist. You can connect me or wider community with anyone. People will be really helpful. Next bit is pricing. Uh, since RPA is available on top of existing Power Automate licenses, and we have discussed there are two type of RPA bots. They can be we can run RPA bot as a attended RPA and also as unattended. If we are just using attended RPA, that is $40 per month, and with that a user can create as many flows as they have resources like space and other allocated resources. There is no restriction in that. But if we need to use unattended one, that add-on is available $150 per bot. And I already have explained unattended bots are those where even user don't need to be sitting in front of computer and logged in. If we will just set and on a standard time, it will start execution, log into machine, complete execution, and log out. And this is the link again if you wanna see further details about pricing. And that is pretty much it. Next, I will move to my demos. These are first demo which I am presenting is you might have seen a couple of demos where people have tried to integrate cloud flows with a desktop application. I thought to attempt a little further from that. I have I have linked Cloudflow. Cloudflow will be basically integrated to my command prompt based application. That is not a business application, but I just have developed it to explain some of the capabilities. Scenario is imagine we have a mailbox which receive mails with order relevant emails, and that orders will be as a in the orders will be coming in a PDF attachment. Here we have a Cloudflow which will be listening, monitoring this mailbox, and from this mailbox it will basically grab this attachment, pass that attachment to AI model. AI model will extract data from it and send data back to Cloudflow further will integrate or invoke my desktop flow. Here desktop flow will receive that data coming from AI model, and data flow further will pass that data to my command prompt application. And on the reverse cycle, command prompt from the same flow, my desktop flow will get some feedback, some output from command prompt, pass back that result to Cloudflow, and Cloudflow will send an email with some reference to that transaction. That is overall what we are going to do. And with this, let me stop my slides for a minute, please. Okay, just to explain, yes, you can still see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. At the time, I have moved to my browser. I'm sharing screen where I'm displaying that PDF with new order, and I will send this PDF to my mailbox. Let's start execution of it first. Now, because this whole cycle is being executed, it may take half a minute or a minute. Usually, it takes that much time. I will first show you the execution, and then I will explain my RPA bot. I just have switched my display. I'm hoping it will start execution on my laptop screen. So still we will need to wait, and let me minimize this window as well. Okay, we can see it just have pop the application. Now it is passing data coming from that AI model. You can see automatically data is being parsed here, and my mouse is still stationary. So trust me, I'm not doing here anything. Okay, order is complete, processing is complete, and let me switch back to my monitor again where I can show you. Sorry, wrong monitor. Okay, thanks for being patient. Uh, Similar to this email, I'm expecting it will pass me email back. It should be arriving, or it, yeah, I just have received this email. Execution has completed. Now I will explain what was overall cycle. So if I go to email order to legacy system, yes. So basically my Cloudflow was triggered when it was basically looking. Maybe I should go to edit mode so I can explain it in more details. Basically it is listening to my mailbox, and it will trigger only if that email include a attachment. And for every attachment, I am basically passing attachment to my AI builder model. If if you have not used AI builder model, I will quickly just high level. I will explain it. This is a another offer from Microsoft, a service. We can easily start using AI capabilities. No knowledge of business or AI. Of course, we need to have knowledge of business, but no technical, I mean, Python or any other technical knowledge of AI is required. Here I have basically uploaded some sample forms, and based on these forms, this model is basically extracting these fields here, which were available in this form. So it basically extract these details, and this please ignore this step. It is probably just a duplicate node doing anything. So here I am passing my attachment to my AI builder model. AI builder model is returning these fields after processing. And this is basically one of the actions of flow. And I have configured my model like this should, sorry, this is desktop flow which I'm executing. So that is the other flow which handles my local infrastructure. And yeah, here is a model I have configured. This model basically extract and return me these fields. And in this action, I'm basically I have chosen this is my desktop flow to start execution further. And here I have configured it should be executing as a attended mode. So I need to be logged in. If I don't have license of unattended, if I would have, I just need to select unattended one, and even if I am logged off, that execution will keep happening. Here I'm passing these values to these variables. I have created these variables in my desktop flow. And next I will move to, after this, control will move to my desktop flow. Let me open my desktop flow. And Okay, so if you remember, we I was showing you like I have variables and values are being passed. So these are variables. In these variables, this desktop flow will receive values from cloud, and here execution will stop. It will run my application. Then further, it is going to one by one entering variable values there. A few places I have added weight just for better recording and make it more visually understandable. Yeah, one by one I'm just passing, and with every value I'm pressing enter to move control to next field. And in last I'm just basically reading the whole screen, whatever was there. And and from here in last step I am passing that screen or whatever I have read back to my output variable, which is confirmation. And from this confirmation, that this confirmation will come here, and it will send me an email back telling this was the whole execution, or order has been confirmed, something like that. And that is sorry, I just have opened the other tab now. So that is pretty much it. uh, I can quickly run it once more if you want to have a look. Okay, just have this was one of the steps. I just make it full screen. Now it is running under some hard coded values. And that was it. So basic idea which I was trying to communicate was, with RPA we have capability to even do automation with the applications which don't have a sort of traditional API. Let's move to next demo. Next demo is also very interesting. If I can find my browser, yeah. Please imagine a scenario like where business is reading data from different websites. This is one of the scenarios where uh, though we have publicly we have access to websites, but we can't basically. This is such a requirement where requirements maybe keep changing, and developing APIs might not be a feasible idea. What I have done is, just imagine scenario. I'm getting rates. I'm converting Australian dollar. I'm getting basically exchange rate from Australian dollar to Pakistani rupees. So what I have done is, I have configured a couple of webs. I have basically I am reading from a couple of different websites. One just for demonstration I have done from Bing. The other I just have in Bing. What it will do, it will come here. It will type like find rate from Australian dollar to Pak rupees. Press enter. This screen will appear, and it will read this rate. Uh, my bot will read this rate. Uh, the next, I just have picked a random service provider. Their rate is displayed on their front page. So bot will read this, copy this value directly. Third one is a little interesting. It will need to come here, and basically, uh, I think I might need to check one of these is working and one of these is not complete, but overall function is same. So what it will do is, it will come here. It under amount, it will just put okay $1. Under converted to currencies, it will go and select Pak rupees, or maybe I can type and select. Okay. After this, site has displayed the exchange rate. Bot will go and read this rate from here. So that is small demonstration. Like after reading rate from all these three or four websites, Bot will further put these rates in an Excel sheet. So that is pretty much what I'm going to demonstrate now. I hope my bot will be should be running fine. Let me open it. Before execution starts, let me give a little quick idea how this execution will be happening. First, I have divided this desktop flow into subflows. So this is my main flow, and from here execution will go to first subflow, which is Forex search engine. Here it will go type bing.com and type this Australian dollar to Pak rupees and press enter. After pressing button, from next instructed area it will copy whatever rate appears, and then it will close the browser. Then similarly, I'm control will go to the next one. That is simply it will go just copy the rate from here. Third one is a little detail. It will go change the dollar amount to one, select the Pak rupees as a converted to currency, press enter, and then finally will copy the details from the page, and after that it will close the browser. So that is overall reading of rate. And last flow subflow is record details in Excel sheet. That is also one of the capabilities of desktop flow. It can interact with local applications, and luckily with Excel spreadsheets there are many actions available. So you can see find, write to Excel, open. I will explain this, but let's see its demonstration first. Okay, now, okay, it had read from the first, which is search engine, open browser second time, and here it will be reading that red rate 123. Okay, has taken, there might be error, that is why it just have reattempted. It is done. Now it has moved to the third one. Okay, let me see. I think there might be some error or something. Hmm. Fail to assume control. Okay, that error. Let me execute it once more. First one succeed, it's good. Let's see second one. Okay, it looks fine. It just has cleared. Make it $1. Change the currency. Press enter. Okay, I think it will show me now Excel. Yeah, it just have put and close the Excel sheet. So if I go back, I will able to, yeah, time is 6:40. Yeah, it recently has been updated. Mm, here it is. So Yes, I think for search engine, for some reason it could not read successfully, so that is empty here. But that is fine. The reason is because since this demo was particularly with third-party websites, and if there is any change in that website, since we will not be notified, that sort of things can happen. But in real business, because for these sort of scenarios, either people will be monitoring it thoroughly or they will be aware what has changed. So that was it. That was all from me in terms of demos. I think we still have a few minutes. I will quickly go through and explain uh, Power Automate desktop environment. When we open it, we can create a new flow from Power Automate desktop as well, but also we can create it from cloud as well. So if I create one, it will be listed here, and then further clicking on edit button, I can start creating the steps there. I will minimize it since I already have open one desktop flow in Studio. So basically, first thing which I want to say is these are variable areas. Flow variables are variables which flow different desktop flow actions, use and create them automatically. Input output variables are variables which cloud flow, when we are integrating with cloud flow, that time we need, if we are passing argument, we will have input variables, and if we are sending output, that of course will be a output variable. So here we will have our variables. These all are actions, and these are some categories of actions, and that is really a good good collection. If you have seen Win Automate app, just imagine it is a good subset from that, and but hopefully in future it will grow further. It has some actions relevant to programming, like variable, adding items to list, condition, loops. A few of them are relevant to system. I have used in previous demo run application. Similarly, we can manage our terminal devices, printers, these sort of things. These are a lot of them. And a couple of very interesting I want to highlight here. Run JavaScript, that is for web-based bots. Run PowerShell scripts and run Python scripts. Before in question, there was a question, can we monitor on-premises systems? So my idea was probably using with PowerShell scripts, we can do that. Further, there are files, if we want to move, copy, rename, delete file, these sort of things. Folder, web related download from web, and these are which I have used, like launch Chrome, click a link, click a button, close browser. These are some of the actions which I have created. Using these action is very, easy. We just need to select one, move it here, and when we clicked on an action, we just need to set a couple of properties. So that is pretty much it, what I was aiming to cover. One more thing I wanna, as in the beginning I mentioned, Power Automate Desktop can be used for both type of applications. If we are creating a bot that will work with desktop applications, the and example is my command prompt application, I will be using this one. This is a way we can start recording. We start recording and do our actions, and with that bot will be record what is happening, and with those recordings, these action will generate come here automatically. I think if we it will be a good idea if we quickly try to demonstrate that, or maybe let me create a new flow. Let's name it test web. Okay. uh, my bot has been created, but of course at the time it is not doing anything. Quickly, what I will do, I will say launch Chrome browser maybe, or launch Edge. Okay, so a couple of properties are launch new instance, or a browser instance will already be running. I'm saying launch new instance. Initial URL will be bing.com and Windows state will be maximized. Save it. If I run it, I will able to verify it will open the browser, and that's it. Since I have not done anything else, now let's record something or do some other activities. I will click web recorder, and it is asking which browser I'm going to record. Since I have selected Edge, I will select Microsoft Edge from here, click next, and it just have bring this web recorder in front of me. I will say start recording, and after that whatever actions I will do, this recorder will be recording those. And you can see it already have grab. This is the web page currently we are in. If I say our automate license cost, maybe let's search it. Okay, you can see it has generated some steps here. Now I will go and, for example, I think yeah, it will. Okay, so I have, for example, I have seen this is my target data which I want to copy. I will just go right click and copy, extract that detail from here. After that, I will just press finish, and that is it. You can see it. This recorder has generated a few actions here. So it works both ways. We can select the action from here and configure it, and the other way is we can basically start recorder and do our action. So if we save it and execute it once, I hope we will able to see what we have recorded previously. Okay, there is error. Let me run it from my other monitor since I have many applications open at the time. That is a little tricky now. Oh yeah, I think I previous browser was not closed. Okay, let's run it once more. Yeah, it has done its job. Since in recording I didn't close it, so it has not closed it, but it has copied the data. And if I, for example, put a message box here, display message, cost, and here I will select my variable attribute value, and let's add very quickly close browser as well. Close web browser. Now this is basically reading browser name from this variable, and when we launch new edge, we can see its instance and name was stored in this variable, which is browser. So next action automatically have detected this is the browsers, which is fine. I will just save it and run it once. Yeah, you can see it has closed, and it just have shown this message on my other monitor. So it says $500 per month. That was pretty much a small demonstration. I think yes, that is it from me. I think I have covered whatever I was aiming to cover. I hope that time spending was useful. Now we have a few minutes and we can go through if there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Yavar. So yes, we have a question here, and it says if an RPA process includes a mix of desktop, web, and APIs, and also script execution like using PowerShell or JavaScript or something like that, can the RPA with Power Automate support that?
Yes, overall, I think it will support, but we just need, I mean, if I refer back to my presentation, one thing was clear or good defined steps. Process should be defined. We first need, before started using automation or building bot, we will need to clarify like what are our steps. In first step, what will happen. In second step, that will happen. But in term of capability, yes, it's sports, and these are just like different steps. uh, I mean, these steps can pass variable, pass values to next steps. It They can read variables and values from previous steps. So just to summarize, yes, it will work, but we will need to, I mean, first clarify what is our process which we are going to automate. Not automate, I mean, we are building bot around, and I think based on that we will able to do these sort of things.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I agree that the first step would be to laying down the scope of the automation that we're trying to build. And as you've mentioned, and in your slides also, you've shown how we can actually integrate those processes. So I'd say yes again. And there's one more question, says that error with taking control over browser instances happens very often. So what is the best way or how, or if there are any best practices that we can follow to prevent that?
I think I have, what I have found is a few times it happens if when our RPA bot try to configure, I mean, we said there will be one browser behind, and when bot start execution, that time there are multiple instances and these sort of situation. So again, I think best will be if we try to streamline our process. We try to define our steps, like when bot will be executing in real life, what will be happening. We will need to define and think when bot will start its execution. Will there be multiple, I mean, browsers, or we will close other browsers? So that will part of our, I mean, defining our steps. But
All right.
generally that error, what I have found is it happens usually when these sort of things, when either multiple instance of browsers were open, or bot was not able to find which instance of browser it needs to pick.
Okay. Okay, and we have another question here. So that says, let's say if I have a process that requires a user ID and password, or basically credentials. So how would the flow work in that case?
Yeah, that is I think let me there are basically just imagine RPA bot will be basically recording and basically repeating the steps. Now just imagine we are entering password in a website, and if you imagine that website's capability is to hide password and show asterisks. So when RPA bot is doing that, same will happen. So that is, I mean, it will not be visible, but a couple of I have seen a few actions here in RPA desk, in Power Automate desktop, and usually there is also an option. We do we want to hide our password, or we want to make it visible? So it works pretty much secure. And one more thing, generally, I think to run RPA bot or run Power Automate desktop, of course, we will comply all other best practices like we create specific user account or service accounts and only give appropriate permissions to that account. So that things, of course, will apply here as well.
All right, that's great. And then it's like, is it possible to run two desktop flows on a same machine at the same time?
Yes, that's interesting. Actually, I have not tried, but certainly I will try. Sorry, I don't have a good idea. It might possible. Basically, I believe it will possible, but I have not tried. And
Okay.
if someone has tried, please feel free to add if someone has tried this.
I mean, for some reason, I think that we won't be able to do it because it's like the UI flow bot. It is going to run one instance at a time on a machine tied or married to that gateway. But I think that recently there was some other attributes released that what is the priority of this process, and based on that, it is going to some way orchestrate or schedule that. But we'll have to find more about it.
Yeah,
So,
but that's a good question. But
yes.
by chance, I have not tried anything like this.
All right. And we have another question here. So, what is the best way to to debug a desktop flow? I mean, let's say if
Yeah.
there is an error that we can see sometimes, but then there is no error on the output, and it's like it's not an expected deliverable, but then how do we track it?
Yes, let me quickly share my desktop again and quickly explain a couple of things. Just imagine it is just like any other development environment. We can put our breakpoints here. If that board would be in execution, we will able to see values in these variables as well. And one technique, if you have paid attention, I have used this display message. We can use something like this to display and verify, I mean, what value is. Another quick tip, or if I share my learning, will be many times our action fails. So what we need to do in those scenarios, with every action we have this particular tab on error, and if we click here, these are a few configurable things like retry actions if error occurs. Now, if you recall in my demo, with one of the sites it failed and it retried, it opened the browser again. Why that happened? Because I configured it to retry if it failed. So these are a few things which in terms of error handling we can do, like continue flow running or throw error. And usually where we don't want to fail, we will say retry, continue flow running. And another bit is when this one, if a step fails, repeat action. Sorry, I have missed that. I can't. I think it must be here under new rules. Yeah, run subflow. So that is another way. If we want to handle like execution or report error, we can create a subflow here, or we can create a. We can use these things like putting a variable, some message or some flag. So these are a few ways. I hope these will be helpful.
Definitely, yeah. So, yeah, we have a few more questions, but then I think we're a little short on time.
Sure.
I would recommend if you could share your social media links on the chat so that people can connect
Yeah.
with you there.
Yes, please. Yes, I will quickly share, and I also want to mention one thing. I'm preparing a course on RPA, and that will be basically free for community for some limited time. Just let me share my desktop, and I think that since that was really a short period of time, I can't go into details of many things. I'm sharing back my screen, please. These are my connection details, please. I'm hoping maybe within 2 to 3 weeks, I'm hoping that will be available. Just a small course, but that will be really focus on development aspects of RPA and desktop flow. That will be free for community for initially some time, since that is my first attempt to publish video codes. And please, if we are not connected, please connect with me so you can, so I can let you know when it is available. And I will be available in chat if there are any question, or please feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn or Twitter, and I will be more than happy to assist and help if I know something. That is it. Really, thanks everyone. Thanks Yash and thanks Raz for organizing this brilliant event. Really appreciate. These events are one of the most important things in our community we have. And thank you all attendees. I will be available in chat, and please feel free to connect if there is anything we need to discuss further. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Thank you so much again, Yavar. So let's move on to our next session today. Florian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
So everybody, Florian is going to talk about Dynamics 365 CE and Dynamics portals UI testing with the